Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome back. I'm glad we're making this a habit on several fronts. Being back in this beautiful reception room, more of that sense of normalcy, trying to do the best we can to continue moving forward. And also, I'm glad for 2 days in a row, and many of you will see some familiar faces here. Yesterday, we had exciting news where Minnesota moved as the 15th state in a clean car state, opening up incredible opportunities for growth in the electrification of our transportation sector, the job growth. We were out in Eden Prairie watching companies start to think about adding jobs because of the move that's going forward. And so today we're going to build on that. We're here to give a lot of thanks. And again, these two events over the last 2 days, what they really obviously moving towards a cleaner energy economy, job creation, money saving for people, but they also represent that the way our system can work in bipartisan, broad coalition building of folks who have similar goals and work together to get those. And so today we're here to celebrate the signing of the ECO Act, the Energy Conservation and Optimization Act of 2021. You're going to hear from some of the authors and the folks who put this thing together. This is really smart policy. It starts out first and foremost by saving consumers money. It starts out by creating jobs that come with that. And it also then, of course, the benefit that we get with it is the reduction of carbon emissions and addressing climate change. And again, you would think it's timing at a time of wildfires and floods and a drought that, wow, what is the chance of doing some of this around that? The chance is pretty good now because those events are now happening on a regular basis. And so Minnesota leaning into this, making sure that we're approaching it, and you have folks here who are climate activists, if you will. You have folks here who actually run the wires that move our electricity down the line. You've got folks here who are the utilities, the municipal utilities, the rural electrics, some of our larger energy producers who actually have to deliver the power to our houses. And what consumers always want, they want to see us reduce carbon emissions, but they also want to make sure they can pay their bill, and they want to make sure when they turn on the lights come on. These are the folks that make all of those things happen. And I'm most proud, and you're going to hear from Representative Stevenson, a key author in this legislation, will talk about it. But what I'm really proud of is there's two folks that weren't able to be here, but I'm going to name it because they were instrumental in getting this through. Senators Rarick and Senjum were able to help us move this thing through. And in a time when we've become really just numb to the fact that everything is fiercely partisan, this issue of job creation, saving Minnesotans money, and reducing carbon emissions is a unified effort from some folks. So I think this is a really big breakthrough. I think this is an exciting day to see what Minnesota can do. And 2 days in a row of this, I heard someone say as a criticism, I took it as a compliment, their criticism was, well, Minnesota's an outlier on this climate stuff. Well, that's where we want to be. We want to be an outlier in leading, as we always have been. We want to be the state in the Midwest, because this is going to happen in not too long, that folks drive here to buy their vehicles, that folks come here because they know that the innovation that's happening around energy conservation and the innovation is happening here, and that's where job creation is at. So we're grateful to all the folks who are here. I'm excited about this piece of legislation, and I think, again, the perseverance that it took, just speaking to some of these folks in the back room, this is an accumulation of several years of really hard work, and that's folks sticking with it and doing it. And democracy can be messy, it can be slow, it can be frustrating, but when it works well, and the ECO bill is that example. So welcome, and to that, Lieutenant Governor Flanagan.
Thanks so much, Governor. Well, we're excited to be here today, and always excited to be able to see good friends in person. So thanks so much for everyone for being here. Our celebration today is really about Minnesota, as the governor said, leaning in to being a leader in energy policy. The ECO Act is proof that Minnesota is leading the way in energy conservation. Conserving energy is a boost to our economy. It will protect our climate, and it will help ensure that Minnesotans benefit from our state's energy policies. One of the most important provisions of the ECO Act is that it expands our commitment to low-income consumers. The The bill more than doubles our commitment to conservation improvements created specifically for low-income Minnesota households. Through the ECO Act, with investments in conservation and through Minnesota's energy and weatherization assistance programs, we are reducing the energy burden for Minnesotans who've been spending too much of their incomes to keep their homes safe and their families safe. This landmark legislation is really something to be celebrated, and as the governor named, it is bipartisan. And I don't know about you, but I am sure eager to do more work together across the aisle during this moment and during this time. So I'm proud, of course, to introduce our Commerce Commissioner, Grace Arnold, who's been working so hard on this with her incredible team to talk more about the details of the ECO Act. Commissioner?
Thanks, Lieutenant Governor and Governor. So the ECO Act is the culmination of 3 years of intense work with many stakeholders from across the state. The folks behind me are representative of my team, the electric and natural gas utilities, clean energy and consumer advocates, and trade unions. And it really took everyone coming together to make this bill possible. We know from our experience at the department operating the Conservation Improvement Program as it existed before the ECO Act, that for every $1 invested in energy conservation, Minnesotans get $3.75 in return. These benefits come back to Minnesotans in the form of lower bills, good jobs in engineering, HVAC technicians, designers, construction workers. And we also know that when we have improvements for one home or one business, it can save a homeowner or business money, but it also reduces our overall energy demands. We can save money by not having to build energy infrastructure. Finally, less energy means less carbon pollution. In 1 year, the Conservation Improvement Program, in its current iteration, reduced 1.8 million tons of carbon dioxide emissions, and that's equal to 350,000 vehicles. So the ECO Act will deliver more jobs, more savings, and a healthier environment for all of Minnesota, and I'm really excited to be here. And to introduce the author, Representative Zach Stevenson.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Commissioner Arnold, for that introduction. Today is a great day if you care about the existential crisis of climate change. Today is a great day if you care about creating good-paying jobs for Minnesotans. And today is a great day if you care about saving consumers money on their electrical bills, because this bill accomplishes all three of those things. And it's a great day if you care about bipartisan cooperation, as has been talked about. I could probably spend the entire duration of my remarks thanking people because of the incredible coalition of support that was behind this bill. I will refrain from doing that and just signal out two people. One, the governor, who made this initiative one of a centerpiece of his energy provision shortly after taking office. And so I want to thank the governor for his commitment to this bill and to the issue of climate change more generally, as we saw earlier this week. And also my partner on this bill, Senator Rarick, who worked tirelessly to get it across the finish line. For anyone who doesn't think that bipartisan cooperation is possible, this bill is proof otherwise. I think we have vivid displays right now this summer, one of the hottest and driest summers of my life, following extreme weather events all year round, the polar vortex in the spring, of how important it is to give consumers the ability to conserve energy, both to save their pocketbook and also to save the planet, frankly. We heard in the committee this year that the existing program, the Conservation Improvement Program, just over the 4 days of the extreme weather polar vortex event that was down in Oklahoma and Texas, just over those 4 days, saved over $20 million to Minnesota consumers. This bill, which makes the program so much larger, is going to save so much money for consumers. It's going to create jobs. It's going to also help save the planet. And on top of that, as Lieutenant Governor said, the huge expansion of our low-income program, which is going to make these energy conservation programs available to people who've never had access to them before. That's a wonderful thing for us to be proud of and a great legacy. So thank you very much, Governor. Thank you to everyone who's behind me today for your tireless work on this. And with that, I'm pleased to introduce Justin Johns, the President and CEO of East Central Energy. Thank you.
Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Representative Stevenson, and Senator Rarick, I want to thank all of you for the invitation to be here today. As an electric cooperative, it is our goal to serve our members, and in Minnesota, we've really been leaders on conservation for decades, and really moved that needle forward on that. And as our power generation becomes more and more renewable and more green, and really we see that next generation of power supply, we need to have a new conversation about what conservation looks like. And that's really what the ECO bill is about. It's about optimization. It's about serving our members with a cleaner resource, providing affordability, reliability, and safety for those members. And so on behalf of electric cooperatives, I want to thank the Governor and Lieutenant Governor, Representative Stevenson, and all who supported the bill. It's a great step forward for us. And up in rural Minnesota, we're happy to see this happen, and we thank you for your work. I'd like to introduce a fellow electrician from IBW 292, Mr. Andy Stope.
Yeah. Good morning. I really want to thank Representative Stevenson, Senators Senjum, Senators Rarick, and Representative Long for all the hard work that they put in on this. Me and the supporters behind me worked for years to get this passed, and we have to thank the legislative and the executive level staff members that also put a lot of time into getting this passed. So we're really thankful for all that. For electrical workers and building trades workers, this is simply just about jobs. But not only that it saves us money on our electric bill, it also puts us to work. Through SIP and the ECO Act creates jobs, local jobs, through efficiency, electrical efficiency, heating and cooling, ventilation, in insulation installation. Projects across the state will help put our members to work. These projects are typically designed and carried out by our local businesses and installed by licensed state contractors using locally sourced products and local workers. Thank you.
Thank you. Sign it up.
Thank you very much.
There we go. Well done. Well done. Thank you. Well, it's exciting to see us work together. We know it's possible here, and I think, again, these folks that are standing here, and a lot of folks you didn't hear from, though, that this is the heart and soul of power generation, power transmission, the activists that are out there to make sure that we can, it's not a false choice. We can move towards a clean energy economy, creating jobs, saving money for folks. So we're not asking folks to make the choice. Justin did not say it, being a little bit humble. I think he told me he's in D.C. tomorrow, leaving today.
Yes, sir.
We'll be testifying, and think about it, when our utilities are testifying, he's going to be talking about butterfly habitat and ways that they're working to bring those things together. There's a lot of reasons to be optimistic, and I think it's right as we talk about it. It's not about fear, it's about the facts and the science. Those folks who are under age 33, if you're wondering that it seems like a hot, dry summer, that's because it is the hottest, driest summer in 33 years. And probably by the end of this month or early next month, it will be the hottest, driest summer that any of us under 60 have ever seen. That's the reality of where we're at. So anything we can do to move steps in the right direction, to move steps that don't negatively impact consumers, but at the same time make those positive changes, creating those jobs, those are the win-win-wins we're looking for. So grateful to all of you. Thank you for this incredibly hard work. I think all too often when you see a bill signing, to think back all of the years and all of the work and bringing the coalitions together, it's a day to celebrate that democracy is still functioning, and I think against the backdrop of what we're seeing elsewhere, this is a pretty good day. With that, questions to any of the team up here?
I apologize if I missed it, but is there an estimate on how many jobs this would create? Maybe?
Yeah, Grace, do you have it? Is our team?
So the current.
Here we go up.
There you go.
So I'm going to ask my team to check me. The current SIP program over the 9 years that it was in place created 48,000 jobs, I think. But we can get you some. So that's sort of, an estimate. We'll see how we do the rules and stuff and how it plays out. But.
Governor, where's the bipartisanship today for this event?
I don't know why they didn't attend. The offer was here.
Yep, we invited folks. It's also summer.
Yeah, it is. But I do want to make sure, and I said I want to be very specific about that the work on the bipartisanships, and Senator Rarick and Senjum, named your hearing, were instrumental in making this happen. So credit where credit is due. I think it's that old adage that it's amazing what you can get done when no one cares about who got credit for it, but I think you do need to name this. So I'm not quite certain why they're not here, but I certainly hope that as you tell the story, this was a big piece of legislation that brought a broad coalition together around a topic that has been somewhat controversial and was still able to get done in a really bipartisan, strong fashion. And perhaps they just don't like me, so I don't know. So I don't want to overthink this thing. So.
After moving this legislation, do you feel encouraged that more bipartisan agreements can be made on clean energy?
I absolutely do. I think I'll let the representatives, either Long, Stevenson, or anyone else here. I absolutely do. I've been saying it. I think it's taken a little longer than I thought. Keep in mind, of us meeting our goals, whatever, this was Governor Pauline's leadership clear back in 2007 that started us on a path in Minnesota towards that. So this is kind of a relatively new thing over the last decade or so that this became pretty partisan. It feels to me like kind of the reality and the economics are bringing us back together. And I mentioned it yesterday. I was a little bit surprised of the intense pushback around clean cars, because when all is said and done, it's going to prove to be, I think, really positive. It's going to be very much a capitalistic approach to it, where the market is dictating where that's headed. So I'm hopeful. I'll let the representatives see what they're hearing in their caucuses and things, but this is a positive step.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with the governor, and I think actually shortly after we passed this bill, we also passed the Commerce and Climate bill that Representative Long and I worked together on. They had a number of bipartisan energy provisions in it that had a lot of different authors in the House and Senate, but Senator Senjum, Senator Weber on the Natural Gas Innovation Act, the solar in schools things, and I think Representative Long could talk more about that. But there's been a lot of progress. I think it's fair to say that this is the biggest year in energy in many years here at the Capitol, and it has been a bipartisan year.
Yeah, I'll just echo what Representative Stevenson said, that I think this really was a historic bipartisan year for clean energy legislation, and some have said the biggest in 9 or 10 years. We, in addition to the eco bill, which was a huge accomplishment and one that took many years to pass, we also passed historic solar in schools legislation, $20 million investing in getting solar all over campuses across our state, creating jobs doing that. And we're really a nation leader now in thinking about the energy transition as well. And we took some really important steps, creating a new office at DEED to look at the communities that are going to be losing some of our legacy coal plants and others, to figure out how we support those communities, how we support that workforce, and also looking at new job creation and how we're doing training for workers of the future. So those are things that Minnesota is really leading the way on. There are very few states in the country that are as far ahead as we are, and that was all bipartisan work.
We should almost end on that note. That is like happy. So, there's not been many happy moments in here for the last 18 months, so we're celebrating that. But it is great work.
Well, Governor, I'm going to bring you down, I guess.
All right.
Off topic.
Okay, if we're going off topic, if any of you folks, so you're not associated with, get folks a little nervous. Bipartisanship doesn't mean agreement on every single issue. That's what we're always clear about. Thank you, folks. Really great. Yeah, go ahead.
So the CDC is going to announce this afternoon that some vaccinated people in some situations will have to wear or should wear masks indoors, including in schools. Knowing that anything you say on this is going to be politically fraught.
Yeah.
Will you go further than the CDC? What do you think that people should do in schools and in these other sorts of indoor settings?
Yeah, and just like all of you, we're doing what you're doing. We're following this. We got the heads up. We understand that the president's going to be making a major announcement on Thursday around COVID-19. We're tracking this very closely. We have followed CDC guidance. We've followed our healthcare experts. We've looked at our modeling, and we think in Minnesota we put together a testing, a tracing, a mitigation, and a vaccination plan that helped us be in an incredibly strong spot. At this point in time, what I'm still telling people, when I said a year ago the only vaccine we had against this was social distancing, closing businesses, and masking, that is no longer true. We have the vaccine. And all of the angst around what's going to happen, what are we going to do with masking, all this, let's just be very clear. We control our destiny 100%. While Minnesotan is in those top 15 states of vaccination, we still have pockets that are unvaccinated. So what I could tell you, Theo, what I'm still going to push is we've got 5 weeks before school starts. We're having deep conversations every day, especially around school, and looking at events that are coming. And I am still of the belief that if we can push that vaccination rate up, and again, we have enough vaccines at our disposal to vaccinate 100% of Minnesotans. That is available. That is not the issue. The issue is now getting folks in. So we'll track what the CDC recommends. We'll look carefully at what that means. I know that Lieutenant Governor just returned with her little one and maybe wants to say something. I am concerned, what I'm hearing a lot about are those under 12. So when they talk about that we are 54% of our entire population is vaccinated, they're adding all of our children into that. They can't get vaccinated yet, and so that is an issue. I don't.
Sure. So we just went on a little vacation with our kiddo, and we were all messed up. And I think, you know, my 8-year-old is my top priority, and I know for Minnesota parents across the state as well, nothing really changes for us. We've been masking when we are in public because she can't get vaccinated, and we'll continue to do that. And so for parents over, you know, for kids who are under the age of 12, I would just encourage you to keep following those best practices to keep your kiddo safe, and not much will change for our family. We are eager for our daughter to be able to get vaccinated. I know with, you know, thousands of other parents across the state, but, you know, we're going to follow those guidelines.
So we'll watch what comes out this afternoon on more of this guidance, and I think what you can expect is we'll continue, as we always have, try and communicate on a regular basis with Minnesotans, try and use that data that's out there. We're in a much different place than we were last year, but again, I'm getting reports every day, and our test positivity rate, one of the lowest in the country, has gone up from 0.9 to 3.5% as of today. Over the last 3 days, we had about 1,074 cases. And again, I remind folks, the Delta variant is 100 times more contagious than the one that was circulating last year. So,
do you feel comfortable with a full-on state fair next year? A full-on state fair in a month, yeah.
Well, I know I want it, and I want to follow the science. I've stood up here and delivered really bad news, and I'm a little irritated. Get the vaccine. We want to do these things. That is the fix in this. I'm going to continue to beat my head every way I can to do this, but my responsibility is to watch carefully. We certainly proved that we will not do anything to risk Minnesotans' health and safety, and trying to balance that around the economic freedoms and the personal freedoms that make life worth living. I mean, the state fair was the ring, the brass ring over the last 18 months to try and get to, and we're so close. So we'll track it carefully. I do feel confident now we can do this. I simply, again, encourage all of you and all of the listeners and all the readers, talk to your friends. There's a change. We're seeing this, that we're seeing vaccination rates increase in places like Arkansas and Missouri because, quite honestly, Springfield, Missouri's hospitals are more overrun than they've been at any other time. And that is a reality that could come. Here in Minnesota, we are much further along, but we still have pockets. So I think, Theo, in all candidness, we're watching this one very closely along with school. We think that's the point. We basically got 5 weeks that we can get an awful lot done. 5 weeks is the time you need, to, even if you do the Pfizer, Moderna, to get fully vaccinated. We can punch that number up, and we're not talking about all that massive months. If we can punch that number up above 80%, it makes all the difference. So we'll keep monitoring it. We'll watch closely. We're working with our partners. As you've seen, individual private entities like the Mayo Clinic, the Veterans Affairs Hospital, the two best hospitals in the country are the Minneapolis VA and Mayo maybe, and both of them made the decision that they want all of their employees vaccinated back by September 17th. So I think those types of decisions will probably help move us. But we're watching.
Budget question.
Sure.
You and others, particularly in the DFL, spoke a lot about putting dollars behind the rhetoric on equity. Can you take a look at the budget bills that you signed and tell us how you think you did on that pledge, dollar amounts, programs, things like that?
Yeah, I'll have Lieutenant Governor.
I'm happy
Lieutenant Governor, but I also want you to address use of ARPA money that went to you, 500 or whatever was passed.
Yeah, that's right. You certainly saw it in schools first and foremost, and we felt that there was a huge equity piece, and we're seeing that to be true in the enhanced learning opportunities this summer. It's one of the reasons we started pushing in January, and once we saw that we had the fungibility of those dollars to be able to move them, forcing on that. I will note, and some of you have heard me say this, and it is not a secret because this is what happened in the negotiations. Senate Republican negotiators made it clear to me that they would not sign anything that had the word equity in it. I told them I know what a thesaurus is and we'll work together to figure out something. But that was an issue, and I don't say it as a pejorative, but I think we all know the culture war that's going on around some of this was a real detriment of making sure equity and access to health care, the vaccines, health care in general, access to other things. And I think this is one where Lieutenant Governor led up our office's lead on this across the spectrum of equity in all things. It seems like equity on education is pretty easy to see, but equity around transportation and equity in health and human services. So Lieutenant Governor can.
So Peter, I am eager to give you the full list because I have it broken down with every budget item that digs into to equity work. I can tell you that what the governor mentioned, that we just continued to hear that from our friends on the other side of the aisle, that anything that contained the word equity was a no-go. Despite that, we were able to work with them across the aisle to get these things done. Support for Native and Black mothers for additional prenatal support when we know that unfortunately the birth outcomes and the outcomes for Black and Native children, babies in particular and their moms, are not great in Minnesota, so we're able to back that up. We have additional dollars for the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women's Office, the Missing and Murdered African American Task Force, teachers of color. I can go on, but here's what I know. I know that when we as Minnesotans on all across the state from every political party are able to actually talk about and name equity and to truly do the work to face these gaps, we will make even more progress. The governor and I are going to continue to push for that. And I think the outcomes that you see right now with the equity dollars that we've worked on with our friends in the legislature are a result because the legislature also looks different. When our democracy more accurately reflects the communities it seeks to represent, we get better outcomes for all Minnesotans. So I think we are just getting warmed up. We've laid a solid foundation upon which we can build next year and into the future, and having leaders who look like more Minnesotans helps to get us there.
What's your understanding of the Republican objection to the word equity? What do they say about it?
Well, I don't want to speak for them. That one's a little tough. I think it comes back to this idea that everybody starts at the same place and you kind of make what you make of it, and we know that that's not true, that there's barriers that are in place that form difficulties. And I think it's just see that as a I don't know if it's a fairness issue or what. I'm careful in calling that because these are, the one thing that happens in these negotiations, and once we started to get back face to face a little more, that's where progress was made. I'm going to make it clear that I don't think distant Teams meetings are the way to negotiate because you kind of take the humanity out of it. Once we got back into that same place, we started to try and find common grounds around this. And one of the things is we see this with our major employers. Equity is a top focus of our Fortune 500 companies here because they know that that's the future of the workforce that they need. It creates a more accepting environment, and what they see is that not only is it the right thing to do, that profits go up when you have an equitable work environment. And I think there's just some differences, but I remain hopeful, just much like the climate piece on this, is I think given time, we'll start to move closer together on these things.
Any final thoughts, Governor? That's all the time.
Well, first of all, again, to our legislators, to our partners who are all here, it's a great day for this. It's smart policy. You're making a difference. We once again prove that we can work together. And in this case, just like we continue to talk about, if we can find places that save consumers money, that create good paying jobs, and that reduce carbon emissions and moves us towards a cleaner, more sustainable energy future, and the producers who actually make that happen, and the folks who actually put up the power lines, and the consumers who actually pay the bills are all in that together. As Representative Long and Stevenson said, this is truly leading the nation. And again, I'll take that critique as a compliment that Minnesota's an outlier right now in the Midwest of leading around climate. And I think in the midst of a pretty big climate crisis that we're facing and weather events of the current time, this is smart policy. Minnesotans should take some solace in this, that there is no divide between Democrats and Republicans, that this one simply works. And so congratulations to all the folks, and thank you all for being here. Well done. Thank you. This is good work.